About 4 months ago, my friend Michael, who knows me and my habits well, said to me, "Hey Tommy, want to see something interesting? I promise you won't regret it." Mike's a childhood friend. The way he talks always makes me laugh because he's always trying to surprise me somehow. Ever since I've known him, he's loved this kind of stuff. He gets off on going and checking out weird and strange places. But lucky for me, he doesn't enjoy going alone, and every time he finds something to investigate, he comes straight to me, even though he knows I don't like this kind of thing at all, and I don't believe in any of it. But I don't mind having a little fun together. Honestly, to see his shocked and disappointed face, I never say no to any of his adventures. But this time, his tone was strangely serious. He said on Maywood Street, there's an old house that's been abandoned for years. A while ago, he heard some people talking about it. Like that at night, sounds come from inside. Sometimes the lights inside the house turn on, even though it's abandoned. Just one round. Let's bring a camera, film it, that's it. I wish I had said no right then. We got there around 2:30 a.m. It had just snowed. The air was really cold, the kind of cold that goes straight into your bones. The steam from our breath spread in front of our faces like fog. We went through a few empty streets and reached a dark alley. The lights on that part of the street, half of them were off, but what caught my attention more was the silence. No car sounds, no birds, not even the sound of wind between the trees. Nothing. It was so quiet it felt like the whole world was watching what we were doing. The abandoned house was exactly at the end of the street, in a dead end. Its railings and the boards in front of the windows were rotten, and most of the windows were broken. I turned on my phone camera. My phone light only lit up a few meters ahead. Mike said, "Damn it, I didn't think it would be this creepy."
Let's just take a quick look. This is a bad idea. We shouldn't be here.
But I like it. Come on, just 10 minutes. You agree we won't go inside the house. He gave me a thumbs up, which neither of us ended up sticking to. We circled around it until we reached the front porch. We weren't supposed to go inside, but the atmosphere was so silent and interesting that this time it was I the one who stepped forward before Mike. One step or two, the wood creaked under our feet, but we heard another sound that wasn't from us. It came from inside the house, like someone was there. "Hello? Anyone in there?" We stayed at the door for a minute or two. No more sound came. We moved a little forward. From here, we could see that the house door was open. At first, I didn't notice, but I think it wasn't open from the beginning. We looked at each other and went inside. About 3 to 4 meters past the entrance, we could barely see anything. I said we should go back. Then a very faint sound came, like someone walking slowly, very slowly, on the dry wood of the floor. You could clearly hear footsteps. I stopped. Mike stopped too. I said, "Did you hear that?" His eyes were wide. He pressed his lips together and just nodded. A few seconds later, a second sound, this time clearer. The sound came from upstairs. I saw Mike backing away. I also stopped. Neither of us dared to go forward. But something up there in the darkness was moving, very slowly, not like a human, not like an animal, a heavier movement. I said, "There must be someone there, maybe a homeless person or a cat that escaped the cold and came inside." Mike said, "No, that movement wasn't human, and it's not as light as a cat either." I raised my phone, zoomed toward the staircase. It was dark and nothing could be seen, but I felt like someone was standing there, watching. I looked carefully. There was no one, no shadow, nothing. Then a heavy feeling came, a kind of pressure on the back of my neck. I told Mike, "We need to get out of here. This place is really cursed." But he turned and said to me, "Just a few more minutes. Let's see what's there. I don't think it's anything scary." Honestly, for our age, we weren't the type to give up so easily. We slowly went up the stairs. The sound came again, this time right behind the door of the room at the end of the hallway. A rough sound, rustling on the wooden floor like something was being dragged across it. Instinctively, I took a step back. The entrance door to one of the rooms was half open. Not much, a little light came from it, just enough to see inside. I brought my phone close to the door, and that was my worst decision. From inside, I heard a very low, whispering sound. Not a man's voice, not a woman's, like several voices layered on top of each other. "Come back." I froze. Mike, who was the fearless one of the group, was standing behind me and said, "Did you say something?" I said, "You heard it too. It said, 'Come back.'" He said, "No, I heard something. It said, 'Mike, come in.' I thought it was you." I was shocked. What does he mean? Did he really hear that? I wanted to run. Then something moved inside the room, this time clearer. A shadow quickly passed by the door, and then the door suddenly closed, without any wind, without either of us touching it, forcefully, with the sound of a key turning in the lock. Click. Mike, who had turned white as chalk from fear, said with a trembling voice, "We need to get out of here." Right then, a sound came that made my whole body freeze, like several people walking on the ceiling at the same time, slowly, heavily, with synchronized intervals. We wanted to turn back and run. At the top of the stairs we had come up from, I thought I saw someone standing there. It looked like a dark shadow. When I blinked, it was gone. I said, "Mike, did you see that too?" Mike said, "What was it? Where?" I pointed to the stairs and said, "Someone was just there." Mike, whose voice was trembling more than mine, said, "You're hallucinating. It must be because of the low light." But this was just the beginning. We were slowly moving toward the stairs when the sound came again, like the sound of breathing from above. We quickly looked up. We couldn't see anything, but the sound continued, like something was breathing just inches above our heads. Slow, heavy, deep. The back of my shoulders tingled. Mike started running and shouted loudly, "Run, Tommy, run!" At that same moment, all the windows rattled at once, like thunder and lightning. They all shook. Then, like something was being dragged across the glass, simultaneously and at once. And suddenly, from behind the door of that same second-floor room, a loud sound, like a hammer strike, hard and heavy, pounded against the door. And that was enough for both of us to run all the way to the street.
"Look out! Over there!" "What is it? I don't see anything."
Move! We have to go now!
Panting, breathless. When we were far enough away from there and reached the street, for a second I turned and looked, and there, in front of the house, it was like someone was watching us, motionless. We ran all the way home. Our house wasn't far, about 15 minutes until we got there. Mike kept looking out the window, but thankfully there was no sign of anything strange. It was the middle of the night. About half an hour had passed since we got back, and I was just falling asleep when Mike called me. "Hey, Tommy, are you awake?" I had just closed my eyes. I said, "If you keep this up, I'll be awake till morning. What else do you want, Mike?" He said, "Do you hear it too? It sounds like from downstairs, some sounds, footsteps, like 2 or 3 people talking together." I had my head under the blanket. I said, "What? I don't hear anything." He didn't say anything else. I called him to see if he was really okay or still scared. "Mike, Mikey." No answer. I was glad he'd dropped it, and I went back to sleep. Around 6 in the morning, I woke up to the sound of the doorbell. Someone was ringing it over and over. I got up and saw that Mike was nowhere to be found. Damn it, where could he have gone? Ring, ring, over and over. I went and opened the door. "Mike, what are you doing here? Why are you so pale, man? Why aren't you talking?" He was like he'd gone deaf and mute, no reaction at all. His complexion was really messed up. I can say I'd never seen a person in this state before. His hair was a mess, his color was exactly like a dead person, and his eyes, my God, his eyes had no white at all, completely black. Seeing that face, I got scared too, even more than last night. I called him again, this time louder, shouting, "Mikey, what happened? Say something, damn it! Here, this time of morning, in this state?" His whole body was trembling, not from cold, from fear. My shout made his eyes move a little, and he noticed me. He slowly moved his eyes to his left and said in a terrified tone, "Tommy, whatever I say, she won't believe it. Please tell her we didn't mean to go there last night, that we didn't do anything. Tell her it was just curiosity that made us go in there." I didn't understand anything from his words. I looked to see who he was pointing at. Who did he mean? But at that time of morning, there was no creature except me and Mike there. But Mike's face, he was about to have a heart attack from fear. I said, "Tell who?" He looked to the same side again and said, "This old woman. Whatever I say is useless. She keeps asking, why did you go there and what did you want?" I was dumbfounded. His actions and behavior showed no sign of joking. I glanced toward the nothing beside him. My whole body tingled. I told myself, it must be from last night's shock. He's talking nonsense. I turned to the empty space on his left and said, "Yes, ma'am, he's right. We were really there out of curiosity. We made a big mistake and caused you trouble. Please forgive us. You'll never see either of us there again." Mike said again, "Please don't take me back there. I promise I'll never even set foot on Maywood Street again." I was thinking about Mike's words. Please don't take me back there. What does he mean by again? His body came out of its frozen state, relaxed a bit, and he took a few steps and came inside the house. When I closed the door, he took several breaths in a row, like until that moment, something hadn't let him breathe properly. "Oh God, Tommy, I feel relieved. She really let me go." I saw that his condition was much worse than I had thought. I brought him some sugar water. He felt a bit better. Of course, I hadn't had time to be properly scared myself yet. I said, "What happened, Mikey? Who was she? Where were you? Why were you outside at all?" He told me, "Last night when I was going back to my own house." What? I was shocked by his words. "When did you go back to your own house last night? Didn't you sleep here?" "No, I didn't stay here. Don't you remember?" Oh my God, why? Last night, after we got back, before sleeping, I said, "Mikey, I'm going to sleep." I remembered Mike's sentence exactly. "Okay, Mikey, you sleep. I'm going back to my house. I have to feed Peter and Pam. Pam's delivery is close." He continued, "You slept, and I went back. The street was very heavy. I had a strange feeling. As soon as I got near my house, I heard Peter growling. I'd never seen him growl like that. Then I don't know what happened. Everything went black. When I opened my eyes, I was back there again. That same house, the second-floor room. I couldn't move. It was terrifying." "But Mikey, how is that possible? In the middle of the night, you called me and you said you heard sounds?" "No, I was trapped in that house all night, and I was about to have a heart attack from fear. And that old woman, her face, her voice was so scary. She kept asking why we entered that house. She even knew your name. When I said it was out of curiosity, she asked, 'Then why was Tommy filming?'" I don't know how I can explain all this. That house and its noises, that shadow, everything Mike was describing from last night, and I had talked to him in my own house at the exact time he wasn't even there. I remembered the video I took. I got up and got my phone, but that video, the moment I pressed record, the entrance of the house was captured, but as soon as we entered, the image froze. In the middle of it, a voice could be heard. "You shouldn't be here. They don't like it. They'll never let you go again."